Right over here to the podium.
You need to,
Yeah.
My name is Greg Peterson. I'm with the law firm of DLA Piper, representing Lincoln North Reading LLC. It's good to see you folks again at the successful close of this project. We come before you tonight because 2 years ago, when this project was permitted, the permit provided that when the project was being wrapped up, that the town would receive 2 easements from the developer. An easement called a roadway widening easement that allows for the widening of a portion of the Route 62 layout onto private property, and a utility easement that provides for a water right-of-way and a water and sewer right-of-way, so that the town has a water loop that comes across the private property to help maintain pressure for the town there and elsewhere, and a capped, what I'll call a capped water and sewer easement, because the lines have been laid in the ground, but they're capped at both ends at this point. And that's so that the town can extend water and sewer lines across Martins Brook to connect the larger area to a future town wastewater treatment plant on the south side of the brook, to the leach field or soil absorption area that the town has already received an easement for as part of the original closing from the Commonwealth, which is on Commonwealth-owned property on the north side of the brook. In addition to these 2 easements, which as selectmen you need to sign on behalf of the town tonight, and as I said, these forms were agreed on 2 years ago, there is also a bill of sale which you need to sign, which acknowledges that you are receiving ownership of the sewer pipe that's capped at both ends, and of the water pipe that has been laid across the property, because those will now be town lines. That's it in a nutshell. Questions?
anybody? I guess, and it's probably not totally germane to this signing, but perhaps Mr. Nunes could give us a little update of the status of
Great idea.
the project.
John Noon, Lincoln Property Company. Can't believe it's already 2 years have gone by so quickly, but we're very happy to announce the project is completed. I think there's one more certificate of occupancy outstanding for the last building that we expect to receive shortly, but all of the infrastructure is done, the buildings are completed, we're in lease up, and the project's actually leasing up much stronger than we ever anticipated. Historically, most of the renters we're getting today would have been buying homes, so some people's loss is another person's gain, I guess. So we're doing very well, which in turn will do well for the town, since ultimately the asset will be worth more money, be assessed more, and provide the taxes. But I think we're right in line with everything we projected 2 years ago in terms of what the town can expect from the project. I know many of you have been out there to see the project and have a chance to tour it, and we hope you're as proud as we are. We think it came out and it's going to be an asset to the community. It's been a real pleasure. We've got some real professionals. I've been doing this 22 years, and I can't always say this about some of the officials I've had to deal with, especially at the building permit level, the planning level, conservation, DPW, all professionals. Anytime we had a problem up there, it was resolved quickly. Jim DeCole and his inspectors were exceptionally diligent on the review of construction, and I think in turn we've got a very good project out there. So I would say roughly now we're about 70% leased. Occupancy and leasing doesn't match up yet. It takes people time to move in, but I would suspect by early spring of next year we'll be 100% occupied. And as you know, we have a number of affordable units that have been filled up by a number of North Reading residents, so I think that's always a good part of the story. And I think it's coming out the way we expected.
Thank you, John. Anybody have any questions for John? Yes, Steve.
This is just a prime example as to how projects should go, and how they should work, and how communities can work with developers to go the right ideas and the willingness to work together. Okay. It was tenuous at first, but it came
Right.
across,
No, it's
terrific.
really a casebook example of a true public-private partnership. I mean, that term's used often too frequently and too loosely, but in this case, I mean, we hope the town got what they expected, and we feel what we've got expected, and I think the residents are gonna enjoy the property for some time. And I think the good news next to follow, hopefully, would be the Gutierrez redevelopment of the vacant land next door to Class A office park. My understanding is they're gonna start the state permitting soon, which is always a good sign. And I think when it's all completed in the near future, it'll be a great asset.
Well, on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank Lincoln Properties and you specifically, John, for your efforts in helping move this thing along, and your entire staff.
I appreciate that.
And obviously, our town hall staff, and people that have worked hard to, as you say, to make this thing a reality and make it.
It was a very complicated project. Everyone joined in and really listened to it. Some very complicated issues along the way, so, but we continue to work to the bitter end to get everything resolved and get everybody what they want, so.
And we'll
Yeah.
continue to do so. We're not leaving.
I
We
think
own that property, so.
I think the project's been a win-win for both sides.
Great. We appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Mike, do you have any comments or input before we vote on this?
Mike Sargent, town engineer. I spoke with Mark Clark today. I had a discussion regarding these easements. He has no issues with them. He's the utility superintendent. And Dave Hanlon has endorsed the two easements that he needed to sign to accept. So everything appears to be in place.
Okay. Heidi, any additional comments? And Jim, from a permitting point of view, everything is?
No issue. As John said, we have one certificate of the issue, that'll be issued this week, and the project will be completed.
Very good. Mr. Delaconis?
No comment.
Any other comments from the board? Mr. Harris?
When I first heard about this project, I didn't really understand what was going on, but looks like it's impressive when you drive by it. I'm glad that that land is going to such good use, and it's definitely an asset to the town.
Mr. Harris, do you have a motion to read?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the road widening easement agreement, the utility easement agreement for the property located at 100 Lowell Street between Lincoln North Reading LLC and the town of North Reading, and further to accept bill of sale and general assignment for the same premises.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. You have some documents that need to be signed and notarized?
Mr. Richard, would you like to provide the notary on this? If only one signature needs to be notarized.
Sure.
Is this your pre-act and deed on behalf of the Board of Selectmen of the town of North Reading?
It is.
Thank you. I have 4 duplicate originals of each of these, so that at the end of the day, after we go to record, the town ends up with a duplicate original, the town council ends up with a duplicate original, and ditto for our offices and our client. So I will start by circulating a bill of sale, and if rather than getting things confused, do you want me to start at the far end, perhaps, on the other one, or they just cross in the middle?
Sure.
Doesn't matter. I'll start from the bottom.
That sounds good. So that's the bill of sale. This is the road widening easement. You could, again, you sign all 4 duplicates and then just pass them on down to the next person.
Yeah, might as well, huh?
Yes.
We have a $50,000 check, for the Rita Mullen Field next door as part of our 40-hour permit,
Mm-hmm.
For capital improvements, so we just want to present this to the board.
Very good.
Almost forgot.
Forget that.
Forgot? Hey, that's terrific.
Thank you.
You didn't put my name on there.
Thank you.
You wanna take a look at that?
What does
Take
the
a look at it.
$50,000
Yeah.
check look like?
Make Recreation Department happy. Okay, here's that for.
I'll do the,
How are we coming out on our estimates as far as number of students? Check it out.
I don't have that number, but I can get it for you, and we are below the, what we projected. Again, I don't have what we
I was just curious, yeah.
but I know I
Motion to
did
accept
check
this.
it below, but I can get
I
that.
think we do.
I think we do.
We need a motion to accept this check.
Accept the check.
Not to accept, however, to expend it, there will need to be approval of the board. I'll have a motion prepared for the next meeting on the earmarking of those funds, consistent with what Mr. New mentioned. In the meantime, we'll deposit the check.
The check's good.